What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? It is Tuesday at 4 o'clock p.m., and that means it's time to hang out a little bit. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. We're gonna try something kind of cool, new, and fun today. We got a little different spot here. We've got a guitar here. I've got it hooked up to the computer. I'm gonna show you some stuff. You saw the thumbnail. Coolest guitar ever, sitting right here. The only reason it's the coolest guitar ever is because it could be yours and it could be something that you make yourself. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're also going to dive into some of your questions that have come in throughout the week and just have a general hangout. I've been doing these on Tuesday and they've been kind of fun. Looks like we are clipping a little bit on that. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, super cool, and just enjoying the thing. We already have a super chat here from First Sergeant Richard. He says, Dylan, I can't set for the live, but we'll check it out later on in replay. In meantime, have a brew on me. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat also. That's very, very cool. Let's see, we got a few people in here. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera as much because I've got this new setup here. This is more like our Thursday setup, but it's different because, well, I'll show you. I have an MIM Telecaster Deluxe with a trem, kind of rare. Do these have the bad wide range pickups? I was thinking on updating them, but unsure that now that wide range season is over. Thanks. Yes, wide range season is over. We are not accepting any more wide range humbuckers for modification at this time. We'll probably do it again in the spring. Maybe. I'm actually working on securing the parts to actually make our own wide ranges because I'm just kind of tired of taking them apart and putting them back together. And I think we could actually give you a better product if we were to actually make them. So that's kind of in the works. I've been working on that lately. But I think they are the same kind of just normal fake wide ranges in those pickups as well. I am blind and I need to be able... This is why Leslie does this. Geez, we got everybody from all over the Holland, the UK, Australia, and Pittsburgh. And some other cool places. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, this is just... I hope everybody's having a good day. And, you know, just having the thing. You can jump in there with a super chat. We'll drop what we're doing and answer the question for you, or you can get in the comments as well, or in the chat as well. I want to update you on a couple of things. For everybody that's been waiting on stuff, we are caught up pretty much. We're making stuff. I think the stuff we made in the shop today was from pickup orders from last week. So we are getting close. We've got a couple of older orders hanging out for various weird reasons, but you know, not normal, but everybody's normal stuff is pretty much... Sometimes when you ask for an alteration on a custom pick guard, like, oh, you know, we just had somebody order one. Actually, we had somebody order one over the weekend, and he was like, I want this custom pick guard. You know, I want a loaded pick guard, but I don't want the volume knob because I don't like where my hand hits it, you know. Can you just leave it out and I'll worry about the hole later? You know, there'll just be a hole in the pick guard. And I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm going to custom make him a pick guard with no hole. It costs a little extra. I'm just going to do it for him just to be cool. But, you know, when you add stuff like that, then it can add a little bit of time on because we're actually having them custom made. So, which is cool, you know, which is cool. We do that kind of stuff every now and again. So that's pretty awesome. We went yesterday. I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but so we've been riding bikes every day. Well, most days this week, and took the day off from bicycle riding because there's a pond in town here in Augusta, Georgia, that it's like a natural preserve kind of thing. Well, there's alligators in it because there's alligators everywhere here. But there's babies. There was, I think, like 16 babies. And so we saw like 6, and we took a bunch of pictures. Got a zoom lens like this long. Basically, we're on this bridge that goes over this preserve area, so you're able to zoom in with a zoom lens and stay safe. People were like, "I can't believe you're there." We got to worry about the mom being around, and she was cruising around. But that was pretty cool. So we had some Turkey. Wow, a lot of countries, man. Super cool. And Florida, of course. That's its own country. So, we got a couple of questions that came in over the internets this week. I put them on my phone to make them easier. Let's see. Somebody was asking about the on the blue Stratocaster, the Squier Strat video. There was a lot of pretty interesting opinions about that guitar. I appreciate everybody that commented on it. There was like hundreds of comments on that video. And I really appreciate everybody giving their opinions on it because it's an interesting guitar, right? It's a fancy Squier, but it does have some stuff on it that kind of makes it worth the extra money if you're into that stuff. And if you're not, I kind of get that too. And a lot of people don't like I don't like gold hardware, A lot of people don't like block inlays. I get that. So then it's not worth it for you. It totally makes sense, right? So there were some interesting comments on that thing. I really appreciate that. One of them, somebody asked or said, "I'm very surprised that they would put a sticker under the neck. That's going to reduce the sustain." First of all, there's a lot of misnomers and a lot of misconceptions about shims. If you do, this was not a shim, but if you do a shim properly, and you don't need to buy those $15 ones from StewMac, as long as it's even across there and it's a stable material. I mean, there are 70-year-old tellies with cardboard in them that have been fine for 70 years. So, don't stress about it. People put way too much thought into that stuff. As long as it's in there to where it's square and the neck's not crooked and it's in the right spot. I think placement is probably more important than material. People use credit cards, they use guitar picks. I wouldn't use guitar pick. It it's harder to get in the right spot, I guess, and you could tilt the neck funny. Credit card's a little thick. That's a really thick shim. Typically when we shim stuff, I don't have any sitting close to me. When we shim stuff, if I'm going to shim a telly, for example, I'll usually use a piece of cereal box. And 1 or 2 layers of cereal box is about perfect. And I just cut it to the back of the shape of the back of the neck pocket behind the bolts, screws, and place it in there. Now, the next thing people get all berserko about this too is that you're going to like ski hump the end of the neck or something. You only do that if you over tighten it, which I feel like the people that worry about this are the ones that over tighten their neck for sustain. The neck doesn't need to be that tight. You screw it in by hand, and then or I do it with a power tool till it's snug, and then I just go like this with a screwdriver. Like it's literally that much. We're not talking torque here. It just needs to be tight and solid. That's it. You don't need to over torque anything. And if you don't over torque it, you're never going to ski jump your neck. The other factor to that though would be the care of your guitar. So humidity, and making sure that the guitar is well stored and that sort of stuff. So the things that misshape woods more have to do with the amount of humidity and water in them than it does you actually mistreating the guitar. I mean, so it's funny to me, like you look at all kinds of other stuff that's made out of exactly the same woods. Furniture is an excellent example. And you could have a chair leg made out of maple, right? And it could be like used and abused and beat on for years and years and years and years. And that thing never moves, never twists, never moves. You could have 100 pounds of stuff on it. You could have 200 pounds of stuff on it. You could have nothing on it. And as long as the humidity in the room of that chair leg or that table leg, and it's been kiln dried right in the first place, then the thing is 100% stable. But the minute we put like 2 ounces wrong pressure or leave our guitar in, people flip out. So wood's way tougher than you think. So, these are not acoustic guitars and they're not violins. Acoustic guitars and violins, completely different thing. Now the sticker on the neck, the long way around to the sticker underneath there, that was actually underneath the finish, and it was 100% flat. There was no reason to worry about it. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it at all. So I wanted to mention that because do you have a single coil package that is clear as my red, silver, and blue lace pickups on my Fender? Every one of mine is clearer than that. I will tell you that. And I'm not just saying that. So when we first started making pickups, I'll tell you, I had red, blue, and silver in my personal Strat. In the red Strat that you see sometimes in some of these videos, the guitar I don't really play anymore, that set that you just said was in my personal Stratocaster. And there were things I didn't like about it. And so that's honestly what got me making pickups. The first set that I ever made was, well, there's a whole other story about the first set I ever made. But Luther Dickinson's Cigar Box has my first pickups in it. But anyways, my first set of Strat pickups are still in that guitar, actually. And they are an improvement over those because I do not like the lack of clarity that those lace sensors bring. They have a weird compression to them that I don't personally like. I know a lot of people really like them. And they're quiet, so I understand when people really like them, but it's just kind of not my bag. But I get it, and I also know that our pickups are an improvement on those. Let's see. So that was the single coil. Bicycle brand playing cards. Yeah, I mean, why not? Best for the money, Fender Japan or Made in America? To be honest with you, here's what I'm going to say about this. And we actually have a video coming out about this next week. It's actually specifically about the quality of these Indonesian guitars, the Squiers. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I say you buy a guitar wherever you want to buy it from, wherever it's made, whatever guitar you want. Get it based on the features. All this like noise. Well, just to be nice about it without alienating anyone, let's just say that there is a lot of noise on the internet about quality control. And in amongst all that noise, every one of these major guitar brands, Gibson, Fender, PRS, ESP, go on down the list, all of them are making fantastic instruments in 2022. With the volume of instruments that's out there, and I think people can't get out of their heads, and this is just a human nature thing, that if they see in a Facebook group that there's 5, 10, 15, 20 people that have had what they think is quality control problems, which isn't always quality control problems, with their guitars, intonation is not a quality control issue. Setup is not a quality control issue. So let's get all those out of the way, and then you get down to the 2 or 3 that are left of this long list of, I have an Acoustasonic and it's got this problem. I have a Squier Strat and it's got this problem. I have an American Strat and it's got this problem. And then you take those guitars out of the amount of guitars that are made on a daily, Fender's making 650 guitars a day, Gibson's making 650 guitars a day. And then over in Indonesia, they're making like 15,000 PRSs a month. They're making like 15,000 Strats a month, or Squiers a month. So then you start to look at it and you're like, okay, the majority of these guitars are actually really good, right? They're really good. And you only hear the noise on the internet about the bad ones, but those are actually only a very small portion of that. And then you take out of that the portion that people say, well, this is a crappy guitar and I'm never going to buy one of these again. Usually they just return them and get a new one. So here's this is a long way around. This is a mentality shift that I think we need to make. Order the guitar that you want based on the features that you want. If you get it and it's not good, return it and get another one. I know that sounds like a bit of a pain, but we do that with everything in life. If you buy a brand new car and it comes with a ding in it, you make them fix it. If we get a new vacuum cleaner and it quits a week later, we just return it and get a new one. We do this with everything else except for guitars. We get on the internet and we complain about them. So I would say get the guitar you want and then make sure it's good. And when you do that, it's positive in the respect that the vendor that you bought it from, whether it's a local guitar store or somebody online, puts a bad guitar out there. They know, oh crap, we should have checked this thing a little bit better. We've got some stuff about this in a video on Monday because this happened to me very recently. I got a guitar, had a problem, something that Sweetwater should have caught, and they didn't. But in amongst all the volume of 15,000 orders a month or whatever, I get why, or 15,000 orders a day, I get why they maybe have missed it. Okay, whatever. Hold them accountable to it. Then that in turn, they have a report that holds the maker of the guitar accountable for all the crap that they send out. Then things get better. Bitching about stuff on the internet and then just living with it fixes nothing. Returning bad guitars fixes the problem. But still, stick it out and get the one you want. That's what I would do. Because you'll regret not having the guitar that you want. I want a new Les Paul. And everybody's going to say, Les Paul quality is so terrible. I'm like, is it though, really? If I get a bad one, I'll send it back. They'll send me another one, and it'll be good. This amp right here. This is the second one of these. I got a new Black Star amp. It died like a week later. And instead of complaining about it on the internet, making a huge deal out of it, and I am in a position with a YouTube channel to make a huge deal. Like I could make this Black Stars Are Crap video. Instead, okay, I had a failure. Send it back, get a new one. The thing's been great ever since, and it's my favorite amp that I've had in a long time. You know what I mean? So just do that. And I know I bang on about this a lot, but it's because I want a positive result for everybody involved. I want you to have the guitar you want, and I want the guitar builders to be held accountable and keep making better stuff and getting better, and they will if we do that. You're gonna hear me. That's gonna be I'm gonna die on this hill. Like this is a thing that I really am passionate about. So just get the guitar you want. You know. Oh, I just replaced a gold and red lace sensor with Dylan Hot S style pickups, and they sound way better than lace sensors. Dude, thank you so much for that. What's your opinion on the modern two-post trem on Strats? The tech of the shop says it's meant to be floating. I prefer it down, but when I release it, it makes a slight knocking sound. It's gonna make a slight knocking sound. Even a brand new PR, so like they all do. If it's gonna sit against the body and you release it, it's gonna knock against the body. Strat trems really are meant to be floated just a little bit. He is right about that. If you keep them all the way down and then you use it, it's gonna knock against the body. A PRS John Mayer guitar, Silver Sky, is done that way, and it knocks against the body. It drives me insane. But I don't use the trem on that guitar very much because I have another two-post that I have floated, this PRS over here. So it's a choice how you want the guitar set up. If you have it against the body, it's because you probably don't use it that much. If you're going to use it, float it just a little. We have a video on that, and it's really easy to do. And yeah, I like it a lot. Let's see. I love the shirt. Thank you. Are Alnico magnets, Alnico 2, 3, or 5 or so, by their manufacturer, or do you make them however strong when you magnetize them? No, The number signifies the maximum level of strength available in the magnet at full strength. And to partially magnetize something, that's harder than you think. Let's see. We got a super chat. Sorry I missed this one or didn't get to it yet. Thanks for the honest response. Oh, thanks, Jose. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. It's not about I don't want to hate on anything. You know what I mean? Like Leslie and I were talking about this yesterday. Some of these videos can get super like by the nature of them can get like I'm right and you're wrong. And that's not really what this is about. This is just about learning about stuff and having fun with it. And I think I have it in my head that I just want to move the entire thing forward, not necessarily, I don't know. I mean, some people are wrong about some stuff. I'm wrong about some stuff. But that doesn't, I don't know. I just don't want to dwell on it that much. Let's see. Check out the DAF from Dylan. They're superb. Thanks, man. Do you know where I could get or make a 24 fret thin-ish neck in the 24 and a half inch scale length? Bolt-on is my preference. I do not. What do you think about the 920D custom shop loaded pick guards for strat? We make some stuff too before you go there because we can put pickups and load them all up and put them all together in one shot. Shows up at your house and it's done. I have seen the 920D stuff and it's good. I have nothing bad to say about it. I've seen it. It's cool. I hate even to say it, but I guess I did see a Jazzmaster one when I was at Texas Toast Guitars that ended up being wired wrong. But again, I've done that too. So I don't want to throw shade on them if that particular guitar was not quite right. Because things can happen. Things can happen. Let's see. Low output PAF that won't break the bank. I don't know about not breaking the bank. Our DAF is really, really good. Do you have a preferred scale length? I ask because I've had a bunch of injuries to my left fretting hand and kind of need a smaller scale. 25 and a half inch is my favorite. I think almost all of my guitars, except for a Gibson, obviously, are 25 and a half. And when I build something custom, I do go 25 and a half. Let's see. Do you make anything weird spacing stuff? No, we don't, because I don't have a laser. If I had a laser, I would probably do that stuff. So, let's talk about weird stuff, shall we? This right here is my Batfish. So I don't know if you guys have seen this guitar before, but this is, I'm really excited about this. 2 weeks from today, I will be in Denver, Colorado. And you could be in Denver, Colorado too, if you wanted to. We have a couple of spots left to come out there and build a guitar. So the story behind this is I designed this guitar a few years ago. 25 and a half inch scale, bolt on. Basically, it's a Tele with LP, everything. Well, it's a Tele with LP shaped body. I just thought it was kind of fun. And then we've got the little PRS horn down here. Just a little nod to everybody, which is pretty cool. This guitar is really cool. I really, really like it a lot. Super high-end stuff involved in this thing. You see the inserts there. There's no neck plate. It's got the Texas Toast durable thin finish on it. You could do it in any color you want. This one is black. The pickups that you will wind. So here's the thing. You'll start on Monday with a block of wood. And on Friday, you will have this guitar. And in amongst that, probably on Wednesday of that week, you will actually learn to wind your own pickups. My failure rate is 0%. we've had 100% of all people who have ever learned to wind pickups from me, and I think now we're up to like 13, something like that, left with a pickup that worked and sounded good. So we have 0% failure rate, which is really kind of fun. And so you'll learn to wind a P90 for the neck position and a tele bridge pickup for the bridge position. There is an option to wind 2 P90s, but that option is running out because we're getting kind of close. So basically you're going to get what you get when you get there. And you can actually also opt to have this done in a regular tele shape. You will cut it out of block of swamp ash yourself, and you will do everything. Pin router, bandsaw, all kinds of stuff. And it sounds, now I have to mute this microphone and then unmute the guitar, but it sounds thusly. So one of the things we're trying to do on the channel is actually play a little more, have some options to be able to demonstrate some stuff live a little bit more. So I'm playing around with how to do it, and I think it's pretty cool. What's up, Jimmy? So hopefully that worked. David Kornblatt, no one knows about Fano guitars. So here's the thing. People keep saying that. Fano guitars is not this. Fano guitars is a 24-7.5 scale. Fano guitars is a Les Paul Jr. with tele pickups in it, with a tele pickup and a P90 in it. This is not that. This is the opposite. So this is a tele that's shaped like a Les Paul Jr. It's backwards. So we're talking about scale length, we're talking about peg head shape, we're talking about they put a neck angle in theirs, so this is not that. Theirs is a Les Paul Jr. with a tele pickup in the bridge. Mine is a Telecaster shaped like a Les Paul Jr. It's completely different. And it might look like, when you see it visually, it might look similar. However, the guitar architecturally is completely different. So that's the dealio. Sounds great. Oh, good. I'm glad it sounded good because I'm trying to experimenting with how to do this. Trying to experiment with how to do this. So a couple of the other features of this guitar that you're going to get that are really cool: roasted maple neck, Wenge fretboard. There's 2 carbon fiber reinforcements in this neck. It's super, super stiff. There's a stainless steel truss rod with a wheel down here. Hip shot tuners, hip shot hardware throughout, basically. Bone nut. All this stuff will be included in this thing, and it's all, you build the guitar from scratch. So we have a couple of slots left, and we're doing something that we weren't going to do. If you cannot make it and you want one of these, we're going to build one. We're going to build one. Basically, it's going to cost the cost of the guitar. We're going to build one during that week. You get to pick the color. You get to pick the pickguard color. And there's going to be one available for sale. So I just want everybody to know that. So there's a couple of little things that you can pick, but overall, this is it, and it is a fantastic instrument. So if you want one of these, we said when we first started this, the only way to do it was to go to the class. However, because there's a couple of openings left, we're like, well, maybe somebody might not be able to make it, but they want the guitar. So we will take one of those openings in the class and we will build a guitar and send it to you. It's not as cool as doing it yourself, but it's a cool guitar. So it would be totally cool. Dylan, go on Phil McKnight. You know, people say that, and I've talked to Phil a couple of times. We haven't been in a position to collaborate. I would love to collaborate on something with him. He's got a great channel, and I like what he does. We just haven't got that far. So, I heard Phil say he was up for a joint something with you, but I guess you know that. I don't know that. That's something I'm assuming and I'm thinking would be cool, but I didn't know that. I have not spoken with him directly. Do you make mini humbuckers? No, we do not make mini humbuckers. No, we don't. Cool. Let's see. We got a couple other questions that came in throughout the week here. Somebody said that guitar isn't worth that kind of money. Maybe $3.99 max. You must have received it for free for doing the review. No. The Squier 40th anniversary guitars that I have here are, for these videos, I bought with money. This is real money, my money, that I paid for them, bought them, ordered them. I literally just clicked on it on Sweetwater. I didn't call anybody for any special treatment, none of that kind of stuff. For those of you that might wonder about that, so I can get stuff from Sweetwater to review, but it's a separate department. They don't talk to each other. So like it's actually gotten screwed up before. Like they were going to send me a free guitar to do something and I had already ordered it and then it ended up getting all mixed up. They literally don't talk to each other. So if I just order a guitar, it has nothing to do with anything like sponsored video wise. And they don't know, I don't want to say they don't know it's coming to me because it's coming to me because my email address is on it, but they're not sending me, they're just pulling guitars and giving them to me. There's no, just like if anybody else were to buy one. So just so everybody knows that, that's how that works. I actually bought 4 of these guitars with my own money. I bought a Tele Baritone, a Tele, a Strat, and a Jazzmaster. So 4 guitars. I've only paid for 2 of them because the other 2 are on back order. But anyways, I'm buying 4 of them because I think they're really cool. So yeah, I just really want to try these things. I'm really stoked about them. Somebody said last week, or a couple of days ago, on my capacitor video, only half of what you say is true and talk is cheap. Do a video actually debunking capacitors with a demo and a multimeter and an EQ. There's definitely a difference. How many edits would you need to make that video? So first of all, a multimeter wouldn't tell you anything with different cap materials. If you were to measure an orange capacitor and a paper and oil capacitor and a mylar capacitor with a multimeter, you wouldn't know any different. They would measure exactly the same given the tolerances were within, the same tolerances. And actually there's a way to check that on a capacitor because there's a letter on it that tells you how far out of spec it can be. J or lower in the alphabet is my preferred 5% tolerance. I like that. We have a whole video on that, how to read the letters on a capacitor and what the tolerances are. So as long as they're within the same tolerance, you wouldn't be able to measure it on a meter. So the digital meter doesn't make any difference. I would also say that you would not be able to tell the difference with any kind of EQ, maybe with some sort of really fancy real-time analyzing thing. But here's the thing about this. If you have to listen that hard, people want to say the difference between this and this, so I'll never use this other thing. If you have to listen so hard that you can hardly tell the difference, how much of a difference really is it? And then to that point, if you are challenging me to make a video, I would return the challenge to you. And this is not, I don't mean it in any negative way. What I mean is, if you think I'm wrong about something and you can show that I'm wrong about it, I have no problem being wrong. The thing is that if I make another video about it, chances are it's just going to show that I'm right again. Science is meant to be challenged. So if you feel that whatever we have on this channel needs to be challenged, make a video. Make your own. Put your money where your mouth is, put the science behind it, and challenge the science. And if I am wrong, I'm wrong. Because that's how it works. That's how it should work. We should be willing to be challenged and wrong, right? It happens sometimes in some of these technical stuff because I don't know everything about this stuff. I try to learn as much as I can. I hate when people are like, you're the expert on this. I'm like, no, I'm not. I literally just learned this yesterday so that I can like learn it and share it with you. Sometimes it's a really, really tough snare to be in because you don't want to be this like, we all know the same stuff. We can Google it. You know what I mean? So I really, really try hard to be accurate about stuff, but sometimes you're wrong. So if I am, make a video and I will watch it, but there's also a thing about the 1,000 or so videos that we've made to get to this point where you can find the stuff on the internet. You know what I mean? So please do it. This is not I don't even mean it in any kind of condescending way. I'm like, if you have information I don't have, you make the video. I want to see it. Like, genuinely, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Overwound neck pickup versus an underwound pickup for the bridge or middle position. Okay, here's the thing about overwound and underwound. Overwound and underwound are to what? In relation to what? Over the years, Fender has made about 3,000 different pickup combinations in total for all of their guitars. This Telecaster bridge pickup, the spec of it has changed literally dozens of times. So overwound or underwound according to what? There is no reference point anymore. And if somebody is marketing an overwound or underwound using those words on their website, they're selling you, it's a gimmick of marketing because the reference points are gone. Now we could say hotter than an original PAF, right? Or we could say not as hot as original PAF. But that doesn't necessarily mean the windings. That could mean the magnet, right? So there's all these other kind of things. It's a big mush. So again, this goes back to my earlier point. Just buy what you like and buy what sounds good to you. You know what I mean? Also, knowing that when you listen to a demo, you probably play different than that person and you'll sound different too. You know what I mean? It's all kind of, not that none of it matters, but you know. Almost a completely different crowd for these afternoon live streams. Dude, you're not joking. That's why I like doing them. Meeting all the new people. It's great. People think they can buy their signature sound, and you can't. There are no shortcuts. Dude, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we've seen that and I think what's funny too is people will say, I saw Eddie Van Halen play a cheap guitar, or I saw Joe Satriani play a cheap guitar, and he sounds just like Joe Satriani, but that's because he's good. No, that's because he's who he is. And you would do the same thing. You would pick up a cheap guitar or an expensive guitar, and you would sound just like you. It's just kind of how it is. And the consistency and the ability to tune that from one side to the other. It doesn't really have anything to do with the gear, like you say. It's more how we play and how often we play, and practice. It's just like these pickups. I'm training my son on this stuff, and anybody can wind a pickup, but can anybody wind 100 of them and have them come all out the same? That's the key. Same thing with playing. You develop a thing, right? And that thing develops over time, and then it's duplicatable, and nobody else then can duplicate the thing that you made. We do it with pickups. You do it with your hands. It's the same kind of thing. I think that's really cool to think about it like that. Cool. You replaced some. Yeah, dude. So the Fender Texas Special pickups weren't good. I'm not a fan of those. It's funny. So I learned something about this last year, I think. I think it was last year. Of course, I'm friends with some people who worked with Stevie Ray Vaughan, and when they were doing some stuff at Fender, and I'm working with them now, and it's kind of cool to learn some stories. And one of them I didn't realize was, and you probably already know this, but I just don't pay attention to this stuff. I don't really care. Is that the Texas Special pickups have nothing to do with Stevie Ray Vaughan. He never used them. They were in the middle of developing a pickup with him that might have gone into something and been some Stevie Ray thing, but they never finished it because he died. And so there was never really a Stevie Ray pickup. But for some reason, because of the Texas Special name and because of all the blah, 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 it got associated with him. But he never played those pickups. So people think that Stevie Ray Vaughan played hot pickups, and he never, ever did. His pickups are redonkulously not hot. Like, way not hot. Like 5.4K in the bridge. Really. His pickup in the bridge is 5.4. Middle one was 5.6, and the neck one was somewhere like 5.6 or 5.7. It's like backwards from what you would think, what normally you would think. And that is because many times they would just pick up random pickups. Hey, my pickup went bad because I spilled some beer on it or whatever. And they would just pick up pickups and stick them in the guitar. There was no special sauce. Well, that's not true. There is some special sauce that he did to his pickups, but the pickups weren't necessarily chosen for any voodoo reason. And then they did some things to them afterwards. They wrapped them in foil and grounded them because he wanted them quiet, and they had the dummy coil in there and some other stuff that they did, but nothing. These were not special. Like, those guitars really were not special. It was a conglomeration of garbage that he put together into a guitar as he broke it, basically. Which is really funny. Kind of really interesting. So I think it's cool. Not cool, but I think it's interesting that people, when they get those Texas Special guitars with pickups with a particular expectation, they end up not liking them. And I'm kind of the same way with them too. Which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool when you learn those things and understand how they all work. Let me see. By the way I'm doing this is I've got my Positive Grid Spark Mini right here plugged into the computer, and then my little software that I use to stream with has an input. I can change the inputs. So that's how we're getting guitar tone today. It's kind of cool. If you don't at least play the same passage with the same touch, sorry, your video is no good. Was it Mary Spender who had a video about this about a week ago, saying that it would take like dozens of takes to get a guitar video? She's right. It's really hard to play for a YouTube video. And honestly, I'm not going to say I don't put that much work into it. I don't worry so much about duplicating everything exactly the same. I worry about being natural. Whatever I'm going to play is what I'm going to play. A lot of times what I do with this stuff is I just sit here and play for 10 or 15 minutes and then take the pieces that I want out and use them in a video. I don't which, and I know some of the riffs are super repetitive, but that's one of the reasons why I do it. So that you do have some sort of reference, but I want them to be natural. I don't want them to be like, I practiced this 100 times and it's like this clinical thing, because we don't play the way we test guitars. That's another big thing that drives me nuts. Is people put like, okay, this guitar is supposed to do this based on this bench test. We don't play on a bench. We play in real life, you know. So that's all what I care about. So if we don't play perfectly in every video, which I don't, because I'm not that good, I don't really care. I never thought I'd see you with an MGK signature model. Dude, that guitar's so good. Actually, that MGK signature model is what inspired putting carbon fiber rods in this guitar. That neck is so awesome on that guitar, and that pickup is so good. I haven't even changed it yet. It's so good. I'm going to, because I have a plan. But that neck is so good on that thing. It just makes you want to play it, man. And it's so stable, and it stays in tune, and like you can leave it hanging up there for 3 weeks and go pick it up and play it, and it's awesome. Such a good guitar. Let's see. Any suggestions for cap and pot values for one of your P90s building a Les Paul Jr. style build? Yeah, on that thing, I would use a 33 cap. I said 47s for a long time, but I've been playing with 33s a lot, and that's what's in this guitar, and I really like them. A little more sparkle, even when on 10 and when the tone's on 10, because it does matter a little bit. And then 500K pots, for sure, with a P90. That's what I would use, for sure. Let's see. Do a kill switch real arcade 32 button light up. Here is the challenge, 12 volt, and the other guys are behind on new art. I don't understand that question. I agree. Recording a video of playing guitar, dude, I've gotten to the point where I don't want to say I don't care, because it sounds like I'm not putting work into the videos, because the videos are a lot of work. But I don't want to, in any of these videos, in any of them, for any reason, I don't want to appear like we manufactured a result in anything. Like, I really care about that. I want things to just happen. Like, if we're working on a guitar and a part flies across the room, I don't care. If we're winding a pickup and something screws up, I don't care. I'll leave it in. Like, I want the reaction and the result to be a natural result. So it's not that I don't care about the production of the video, but I want it to be real. I don't want to say like, we did this 100 times to show you something that isn't actually real because it took us 100 times to do it. And I feel very passionately about that with everything that we do. So yeah, no, that's a super important thing. Hey, I have this question. Why isn't there any pickup with one independent coupling or bobbin or magnet per string? Is it space related, like not enough string to wind the copper or get any sound, or price related? No, there is somebody that has done that. There's a company called Zex Coil. They're here in the United States, and they have made a pickup, and it is a little expensive, where it's a single coil, and each of the magnets has its own coil on it. And because there is an even number of strings, they are wired in such a way that they are quiet, because they are hum canceling because of how they're wired. So yeah, super cool. It's actually a really cool thing. This shirt is stupid shirt is actually available in the link, I think in the tray below, like the YouTube. You can go below the video right there and you can order these shirts. I don't plug merch very much, but we have some really cool shirts. This shirt, we have the Sasquatch shirt, which is really cool. We have the Santa Cruz skateboard shirt, which is really cool, the Dylan Pickups one, all that stuff. And all of those are available on the website on DylanTalksTone.com. So if you ever want to buy a shirt, yeah, they're super cool. And they're not, you know, it's funny. I said, who cares in a video the other day, and somebody was like, I don't like your attitude. Leslie will speak up about this to me once in a while too. She'll be like, you don't want to sound like you don't care. And I'm like, yes, you're right. And I think the words come out of my mouth like I don't care. And it's not that I don't care, because I really care. But I don't. The result doesn't matter. The result of what I'm about to do does not matter to me. I guess that's it. When we test something, again, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, about if you have a video that can disprove something that I've done, go do it. I don't care about the result. I don't care what the result is of the stuff that we do. I just want to do it, see how it turns out, and if it doesn't work, learn and do something else. But see, that's been my brain ever since I was a little kid. You take something apart, you see how it works, you try to make it better. If it doesn't, you do it again. I invented my first thing when I was like 7 years old, you know? So that's what I care about, is moving the whole thing forward. I don't care about how to get there. I don't care about like, I need to be right on this so that then I have this result and then this becomes this other thing. I'm like, no, I don't care about any of that. I just want to do a thing, test a pickup. Does it work? Yeah, it works awesome. It doesn't work? Well, it didn't get me where I wanted to go, but it ended up making a cool sound. Kind of an accident. I guess we're going to release this pickup. It's pretty cool. That has happened. Our best-selling pickup right now is a result of an experiment that went wrong. So that's where I say I don't care. I don't care about any of it. I just want to see how it's going to play out. And I really enjoy that. Are the shirts Gildans? No, they're I don't like Gildans. They're too. No, these are I can't remember. I really like them though. They're super soft, and they're super soft. I really like them. Got a super chat here. Any update on the P90 controls? Also, I would be interested in the baritone based on the pickups. Sean, if you mean you want to buy that guitar from me when I'm done with it, let's talk. And yes, there is results on the P90 controls. I've got stuff over here on the bench, and I'm working on that stuff tomorrow. So yes, thank you so much for the super chat also. Failure is a stronger teacher than success. I wouldn't go that far. I want to succeed. Like, I want to be the best at what I do. And I will succeed. I always will succeed. I really have a thing about that. I'm super positive about that. But I don't ever, failure is an interesting word. Because everything is testing to me. I'm testing stuff. When I was in the dirt bike industry, there'd be days where you would work on a cylinder head for 9 hours, you know, getting this cylinder head perfect, however you want it. You'd put it on the dirt bike, you'd go out and test it, and it was great for an hour, and then you'd bend a valve because you like screwed something up when you were experimenting because you wanted to see what would happen if I did this. And you'd blow up a motor, you know? Okay. You go back to the drawing board. There'd be other days where you'd be like, okay, I need to adjust the fueling on this bike, and it means I'm going to take it apart like 10 times to make sure that I get the best result I can. It turns out that the third time you took it apart was the best, and you took it apart 10 times. Some people would get frustrated with that, or they would get like, feel like you're failing all day, or you get discouraged, and that's not me. I'm like, I do this. I'm here. This is my job to take this guitar apart 5 times. This is my job to make this video, and I have to spend $15 on 3 sets of strings for this video, and it's part of the process to take it apart and put it back together and be wrong about stuff. Like, that's the process, and I really enjoy that process. That's why I like doing this. That's why I like working on guitars. Well, I don't really like working on guitars, actually, but I really like designing pickups because I like learning it and then doing it, and then is it wrong? It's not really wrong. It's just different. Okay, make a note for that. Maybe I'll use that later. Like, I really enjoy that process. So it's not a failure thing to me. Failures aren't failures to me. They're like things you write on the whiteboard for reference later, and you'll usually end up using that in some other process at some other point. They're just like notes in the experimental flow. That's how I look at a failure. And I'm like that in life too. I'm like that in life. I mean, I've had businesses that didn't go so hot, and I've had businesses that went really good, and I've made bad business decisions, and I've relationship, like whatever. It's like, okay, it's it's all in the process, man. Yes, Sean, we will talk. Yes, that guitar is gonna be $599 when it's done. Just FYI, that guitar is gonna be $599 when it's finished. And you're gonna dig it because it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna have P90s in it. It's gonna be awesome. Oh, you know what though? I think there might be somebody in front of you on that one. I have to check. There's another person who's already spoken for it. I need to check with them. I kind of think it's already spoken for. Now that I'm saying that, I think that there's going to be a line on that one. For your next knife, I suggest a CRKT. You'll save money and they're great knives. I'm actually going to order the is it the CRKT executive? It's one of the executive knives. I can't remember what it's called. I'm probably gonna get that. I got 0 tolerance today. That's what we're carrying today. Check, check. Oh, okay. Sorry, something went weird there. Yeah, man. It's all about it's all about just learning. I just want to keep learning, So, man, this has been super fun. We already blew through an hour. Let me see if there's any other questions that I had. I don't think so. Where did my phone go? Oh, and thank you to who just ordered the Sasquatch shirt. Somebody actually just went and ordered the Sasquatch shirt. Yes, the CRKT CEO. I want to order that knife. I actually just got a Boker Plus version of that same knife, and I'm not really happy with it. I like it. It's a little rough around the edges, and it's twice as much or 3 times as much as the CRK CEO. So I'm interested to see. Yep. Thank you so much for ordering the shirt, though. That's cool. Awesome. Well, this has been super fun. We are at about an hour. I have got some places I need to be this evening. Please do me a favor and check out the link below to the Batfish Build the Ultimate Guitar class and check it out. And if you want one of these and you can't make it, we're going to have one available. So get with me on that and we can talk about it. I would like to sell that slot before I go. That would be really cool. So we know what we need, parts wise and stuff, to have it all ready. Because I want to kind of shoot some video about it too, as we build that guitar that week. So super, very, very cool. Can we order the T-Style upgrade kit in gold? Just put a note on there that you want it to be. I think you can. Can't you? Hang on. Here, let's just check really quick since I have the power of a computer in front of me. And we are talking Telecaster stuff. So we have these upgrade kits, what they're asking about. We have these upgrade kits that have, oh, I guess we don't have colors on there. Yes, put a note in the on the order that you wanted in gold, and I'll make it in gold for you. No problem. No extra since you asked nice. No problem. Gold covers are a little more expensive, but yeah, will be cool. Folks have some, yeah. Did you get many people mail in their wide range pickups? Oh my God, did we? I'm so tired of doing them things. Yeah. The month ended in time. We still have some coming, actually. They send their order in, and then we send them an address to send the thing to, and then I've got to wait for them to get here. So it's kind of trailing behind a little bit. I think we still have a half a dozen more to do. But yeah, there was a lot of them. So yeah, super cool. Tell Leslie hello, and we will see you Thursday. Awesome. And we've got video coming out tomorrow. Obviously, it's going to be the news. There's a bunch of cool new stuff. I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but we're going to show you some cool new stuff tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This has been super fun. I love doing these little hangouts on Tuesday. We will see you noon tomorrow with the gear news.